What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here if you're new to the channel. I make Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about was or is Austin Rivers right about the Charlotte Hornets? So basically, if you didn't know, Austin Rivers went on his podcast, somebody's podcast, and essentially said that the Hornets need to surround LaMelo Ball with more talent, and that, you know, they should be more like the OKC Thunder, which we're not even going to get into that because the Hornets in this amount of time has had a lot of success despite not having Chris Paul to come to their team and all the draft picks that they've able to have. The Hornets have done a pretty good job, made the play in twice. I know with Shea and Chris Paul, they made it to the playoffs and took the Houston Rockets to 7, but still, I don't. As their young core without Chris Paul and our young core, they're not too far off, to be honest with you. But anyway, as far as just him saying that they need to surround the Charlotte Hornets with a lot of talent, I agree with to an extent. So a lot of people were getting on Twitter and saying, "Oh, that's not true. He's crazy. That's outrageous. Why would he say that? We're much better." Pump your brakes. As obviously as a Charlotte Hornets fan and just as someone who's also realistic, the Charlotte Hornets have just now kind of ramped up what they're surrounding LaMelo Ball with. For a while, for 2 years? For a year, they gave us Miles Bridges, who, when he was okay. Then it took him a year and a half to get even better. And then he missed that last year. Wasn't front office's fault, but that's kind of the talent he had around him. PJ Washington, as much as PJ is valuable to this team, it's not like he's a superstar or an all-star. He's a guy that every team needs. Every team needs a guy like PJ Washington. That's why guys like PJ Washington are getting paid around the league, but he is not no superstar or special star talent. Gordon Hayward, that was LaMelo's rookie year. They signed Gordon Hayward to this crazy deal. So that's other talent they surrounded him with. For 2 years, they gave him Bismack Biyombo and Cody Zeller and who else? Mason Plumlee. Those were her center options. It wasn't until this last half year where we got Mark Williams. Now, granted, they tried. They got Kai Jones, but even then, it's like you got to look at kind of Kai. I personally would have left that alone. Not even despite what he's got going on now. I don't even think that I would have just been interested in where we were as a team at that time. If they were telling me we're trying to win, we need a center, get Kai Jones, I'd be like, no, I don't. But I was thinking that they were just telling us, we're going to win, but actually in reality, it's like a tank. You know how teams do. That's what I thought the route they were going, but no, they actually believed that they were going to take the next step and drafted Kai Jones thinking he could do that. And I just didn't think he was ready for a win now situation. I thought he was more development, which I would have been perfectly okay if we took a step back to go forward, but we didn't technically do that. So, but anyway, I think that, it's just now starting to happen. So a lot of fans were upset at Austin Rivers in blaming him and saying, "Oh, well, how could you say that?" But you got to be honest with yourself. 2 years ago, we were, as Hornets fans, we were saying the same thing. We were saying, you've seen him go out there and win Rookie of the Year. We seen him go out there and how good this team was, and then he got injured. We've seen him drag the team to basically the play-in the second time, and no one played well in the play-in games. That was a good sign to maybe start to try to do something. Now, granted, in that summer, where the Miles Bridges situation happened, but still, you would think after that game where we lost to the Hawks like that, but the team actually looked pretty good, finished 43-39. Is that really, that should have been a sign that, hey, maybe we have something here. Maybe we should really do something about our center position, at least at that time, or pair him with a better person in the backcourt as far as Terry Rozier. Not Terry Rozier's skill level, but more so what skills does he provide? Having someone that could probably guard the point of attack, guard the perimeter. We technically don't have that. Terry Rozier, that's not his thing. He's asked to guard the better guard all the time, and that's just unfair to him. And I've said that multiple times on this channel. And speaking of Terry Rozier, re-signing him to that extension, knowing that that's not the best backcourt fit, we're re-signing him to more money. Not saying he doesn't deserve the money. It just didn't fit here in Charlotte, so it didn't make sense. So I'm on the side where Austin Rivers has a point. However, I will say that the team as a whole, the organization, in this past year, I guess, since the Miles situation, since the 43 and 39 team, they have done a lot better of trying to surround LaMelo Ball with talent. A lot of that is, solidifying your core. So I'm more than likely they're going to bring back Miles Bridges. We saw that they re-signed Terry Rozier. We see that more than likely Mark Williams is going to get the start at center. We see that they got, Brandon Miller instead of Scoot Henderson. We've seen it. We've seen the kind of moves they've made have all been in correlation to how can we surround a team around LaMelo Ball. And I think they're doing a good job of that. But to Austin Rivers' point, that is literally something. All those things have happened just now, just recently, just this last half season. So I wouldn't go as far as saying, oh, he doesn't know anything. Yes, he probably is just have ignored. And also, we can't get mad at personalities who they do a brief segment on the Charlotte Hornets. And then we're like, oh, well, they missed this and they missed this. It's like, all right, do the Charlotte Hornets really are giving people stuff to watch, to pay attention to? Not really. Most of the time we're in trouble or doing something stupid. So I'm not going to say, Austin Rivers is at fault. But I will say there are times where the media also, they go out there to choose to write about us and then they mess it up. So like I saw an article the other day, it was best additions and Brandon Miller wasn't on there. And technically bringing Miles Bridges back wasn't on there. And so, yeah, they were the best additions were, I want to say it was Amari. I don't even think they had Nick Smith Jr. on there. It was Amari Bailey and James Nagy or something. It was crazy. And Frank Ntilikina. I was like, you're missing out on key parts of this. But anyway, sorry for my tangent, but essentially, all I'm saying is that, yes, Austin Rivers has a point, but no, I completely understand that this last half season, the Hornets have done a lot better job than they have in the past 2.5 seasons of trying to get something around LaMelo Ball and seeing what they have. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Like I said, I do think that, especially with his comment about comparing us to the OKC Thunder and stuff, that is lack of basketball knowledge. And that's lack of paying attention to every team in the league. I wholeheartedly agree. But as far as calling out the Charlotte Hornets because they're not doing what they need to do to surround LaMelo Ball with talent, I 100% agree with that because it's just now that they start making moves that they're not just putting players on the team or they're not re-signing players or just getting players. They're actually getting players that help kind of complement what LaMelo Ball does. So that's a big part of it. And I will say it's not a coincidence that it's after, around the time they plan to extend him, which obviously they did. So that is probably another part of it is that they didn't want to kind of, go full speed ahead without knowing exactly what they got with him first. So now that they know, as they've re-signed him, and now all these moves have had to complement him. So we'll see what they do. But anyway, let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.